Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, pimps and simps, welcome back to the Mac Life, the #1 podcast here in the world. We're back for episode 158. And if you're new to the channel, we go over absolutely everything to do with growing your brand online, monetizing that brand, OnlyFans marketing for creators, and OnlyFans management. So how to manage ladies' OnlyFans accounts and make serious amounts of money. Now, if this is the first ever video that you've watched, I do these in podcast style format. So essentially this is a podcast. It's unedited. We ramble off the top. Me and you, we get to connect. And this is for people with actual attention spans. I can't say how many times in the last few videos I've said the main detriment to people's ability to make money in life comes from their poor attention spans. You can't even focus on a YouTube video for fucking 10 minutes. How do you expect to be persistent enough to do what's required in business to make serious amounts of money? It's just, how many people sit there comment and they comment shit that I've actually talked about in the video because they can't put their attention span past 10 seconds. Why click on a video? People say, I can't watch the first 10 seconds. You need to get to the point. Motherfuckers, if you're searching around YouTube for a video about your topic, okay, you would be wanting to take time to pick the correct one and then invest in that and invest in the hope that you learn from it. People these days, this is the biggest problem, is people's attention span. Now, we have quite a few topics to go over, and usually I do it where we have topics and then the main idea is at the end. But today's really about OnlyFans management courses, and pretty much all of today's video is about OnlyFans management as a course, how to become an OnlyFans manager, what are the perks, what are the pros, just a bit of everything, and some updates that are going on within the industry at the moment. So, first thing I want to talk about before that is a little update. YouTube, where currently I used to gain 30 subs a month. If you remember, I used to gain around 30, 33, 34 subscribers a month. So it would take around 3 months to gain 100 subscribers. I'm now gaining around 35 to 40 a day, subscriber-wise. So what I used to do in a month, I'm now doing in a day. And that really comes down to persistence over a long period of time and putting in the volume. You need to put in the work. That's all it is. You need to put in the work. And so a lot of people aren't willing to put in the work. They're not willing to put in the volume. And this is why they have lackluster results. And I know it's just the end of the beginning for this stage of YouTube, because soon I'll look and it will be 300 subscribers a day. And people go, oh my fuck, it seems like, you've just blown up out of nowhere. But it's not out of nowhere. And that is why I do these as podcasts, so you can understand and you can watch back and you can look and say, fuck, he did really only start growing his YouTube then. And he's already done 158 podcasts. 158 podcasts. Most people can't stick to doing 3 videos. We're 158 in. Soon we'll be at 200. Soon after that, 3, then 4, then 500, then 1,000. And it will just carry on and continue to go. And this is the work ethic that I speak of. And this is the work ethic that I put out every single day. So you can see I'm a replicator. I'm a model of what I teach. Now, that being said, we're doing the Hive Giveaway at the end of each month. I've decided that's probably the best day to do it. So we still haven't decided on the prize. It's either going to be like awesome OnlyFans merch or maybe, 10 mobile phones so you can run the Tinder automations a lot easier. Access to software, Versace, whatever it is. We'll give it away, but we'll do that at the end of the month. Probably around the 30th. I think the 30th of September is, we're in the month we're in, September. So yeah, it'll be the 30th of this month. And the way in which it works is the longer you've stayed inside the Hive, the more votes you have. And every single month we do the giveaway, so it accumulates. If you've been in 1 month, okay, you have 1 entry to the draw. If Hive has been in 6 or 7 months, we reward persistence, we reward consistency. They get 6 entries into the draw. So the longer you stay on board, the more entries into the draw that you get each month. Now, that being said, I also get updates as well on the Instagram verification today. So I've started re-adding all the old press articles back to my IG. So if you're looking, you're just going to see 100 story posts today. That's why. It's so painful. I have to scroll back through all the years as well and select other posts and find stories to put back as highlights. So I won't be deleting them again. And yeah, a thing that I want to do is I want to talk about a topic that I've had to answer, and it's mostly on shorts. And I've realized the people that sit there scrolling through YouTube shorts, they have the attention spans of fucking goldfish. And that's why I get these sort of comments. And I call it the 99%er, okay? And I call it what the 99% of people's mindset is. And this is why people struggle to succeed. And then they see people like me and they're like, oh, how'd you do it? You must have got lucky. Oh, it must be a rip-off. It must be, because they can't conceptualize that they're doing something wrong. And this is what I call the 99%er. 99% of people will either say why you've done something is incorrect to help justify them for not doing it, or they will ask a question that they already know the answer to that they're too scared to act on. Now, let me rationalize this and make sure that you understand. A lot of people say to me, you couldn't have done $100,000 in sales on Marketplace. I didn't. I did 100,000 profit in sales on Marketplace. You couldn't have done 100,000 profit on Marketplace because shipping times on AliExpress are slow. And I'm like, you dumb fuck. Like, you want to rationalize that it can't take place, but it already did. It's a fact. It's something that happened. It's a statement. Okay? It's a fact. It's something that actually already took place. But then on top of that, okay, you already answer your own answer within your dumbass question. Because shipping times are slow on AliExpress. Maybe find faster ways to ship. Look at your own dumb fuck questions. No one would pay that through a PayPal link. They wouldn't trust it. Are you sure? Have you tested it? Or are you lying to yourself? And then if they don't, what else could you use? Maybe you could use Stripe. Maybe you could use a Shopify website so it looks more legit. People just justify. They sit there justifying all day, and there's some dumb fucking people in this world. And that's why people who take action and make those movements, they make the money. And that's great. So we shouldn't feel bad. We shouldn't spend our time being negative and put negative energy towards these people, because we need dumb fucks. They are the factory workers that keep the cogs running so that the people like you that watch these videos, we can live an incredible life, because there has to be cog workers. For us to be at the top of the machine, the slick oil benders, there has to be cog runners. And unfortunately, that's just the way the world works currently. And there's a lot of cog runners out there. I'm hoping that, you, as someone who watches these podcasts, want to be an oil bender and not a cog runner. So you can take that as it is. Now, the Kajabi system, okay, it'll be done very, very soon. So we'll have a completely automated process, meaning that if your payment fails, essentially the bot will just block you from all chats, block you from the group. I know that sounds harsh, but this is the way things have to be systematized until you rectify your payments. On top of that, the bot will act. So as soon as a member joins, they get their instant access to the Discord with that email. And then And then the solution is, if a member decides to cancel, they'll be instantly removed from the Discord, which keeps us just hyperactive with legitimate people. We don't want any scrapers scraping by. So that's what's happening there. And then on top of that, like I said, the Hive Mind is something that I'll continue to run forever. It's the main project of my life at the moment, and it may change the content throughout it through the years, depending on how things move. We may move into more stuff about the metaverse and OnlyFans in the metaverse and stuff. But it's just the one thing. It's the one thing that I'm content to focus on forever. So with the Hive, all of the OnlyFans, now this is going to surprise a lot of people and excite a lot of people, especially Hive members. All of the OnlyFans masterclass, which is massive, is getting overhauled. It's been, maybe 6 or 7 months worth of it since the content's been out, and we're going to overhaul quite a lot of it. There are some key frameworks that will still stay in place, but there's a lot of new strategies that will be overhauled, so I'm not going to give a definite date on when that is, but all of it will be overhauled, and this will continue to happen. And what you may be saying is, but what about OnlyFans 2.0 that you've been talking about? What is that? That is something completely separate that will be available to Hive members as well. It will only be available to Hive members, and it will be an extra thing. And I actually don't recommend that you buy the OnlyFans 2.0 straight away. This is for creators and managers who are already doing over 10K a month that then want to scale up to 7 figures. This is taking you from, you should be able to figure out with the information that's inside the OnlyFans masterclass how to get to 10K a month very, very simply. Okay, we have people saying, like I got Hive members saying in their first month, I just got a message. Hive members saying in their first month, I did 4.1K profit, and then I put that up as a testimonial. The dude's like, you can add another 1,100 to that today. We're getting insane. We had a dude today, $800 sale. Another dude in there who took his first client, his first girl that he signed up in his first month. She was doing 300 a month in sales, or in net it was, and he took her to like 1,600 plus a month. So a 500% increase. So I am getting bombarded now. What's it? Fucking Emma messaging me. Now it continues to go and go, right? See, it threw off my train of thought, and that is why very limited people have my number, and I don't have any notifications on my phone except for text. But for some reason, I just got 2 texts from 2 different people at the exact same time. How weird is that? And that's why I'm a big advocate of not having any notifications on. The only thing I have is text. They're the only things I allow to interrupt because they're important and they're people that I deem as ultra important. And to get into that, I don't offer my number to anyone except very close friends, family, and very close business partners. So, yeah. Anyway, like I was saying, OnlyFans 2.0 is going to take you and build you from the 5 figures a month, which is 10K plus, into the higher echelons. So that's really about systematizing, because what you do, okay, there's a really cool concept that, what you did to make your first 10,000 isn't going to be what's required to make, 100,000 or get from 10,000 a month to 20,000 a month or 50,000 or 100,000 a month. And you kind of have to change the framework, and sometimes you actually have to take a step back or almost take a little loss and figure out new skills and new things that will be more beneficial in the long run. And so OnlyFans 2.0 is for the people that are making 10K plus a month inside the Hive, and there's quite a lot of them. And it's going to show you how to systematize everything, plug and play, how to set up as a legitimate force, a legitimate agency. And these are for people who are long-term players that want to legitimately build these into their genuine wealth strategies, that want to focus down long-term. So that's what that's going to be. And when it releases as well, each time, so when I refresh the OnlyFans course for all the Hivers, the price for new members, my Hive price will go up again. I always continue to put it up because it just continues to add more and more value. So if you're interested in that, I recommend getting into the Hive now before I put the price up, because I will be putting the price up when it releases. So on top of that, we'll have all the stage 3 e-commerce videos being released at the same time as the refresh. So there's just so much to be updated in the Hive. And I'm updating everything. Like, I update the newest Instagram strategies. They're pretty much the same. IG is still pretty much the same. And the YouTube, because that's what we have. We have e-commerce, we have YouTube, we have Instagram, and we have the OnlyFans, of course, all in there. They're the 4 things. When we're not adding in crazy shit, because they're the things that I know how to make money on and show you how to make money. So, now I get this question a lot. If I'm under 18, can I be an OnlyFans manager? I'm not a lawyer. I can't give you that advice. I would imagine not. You're in the adult industry. You have to use some common sense. Look up your local laws. Speak with a lawyer if you can, and ask if you can participate. Otherwise, what's your best course of action? Probably e-commerce to build up some capital, and then after you've acquired some capital and you reach that age, if you still want to move across into the OnlyFans industry, then you can move across into the OnlyFans industry. Fuck. Now I'm getting audio messages. So what I am keen to show as well is that how many of these dudes in the OnlyFans teaching industry are fake, are artists that are rehashing my information. They come on board, they steal my information, they rehash it. And I'm essentially going to showcase that to all of you, because what I want you to know, Hive members, is that when I release my full course update, this is shit that is not shown anywhere else. It's not spoken about on YouTube. It's not shown anywhere else. I've acquired this from testing strategies and working with 6 and 7 figure creators. I sit down after I film these videos each day. I work on Hive related tasks every day. I think, how can I improve the Hive? How can I make it better? How can I reduce churn? How can I make sure more people are succeeding? And then I sit there and I test different strategies with creators. How can I run different ads? How can I increase their OnlyFans results? And that is my entire day. That's what I do. I focus on building up, and I keep the OnlyFans side of things very, very discreet now. I don't show who I work with. I don't show any of that shit. I just use those results. And the reason why I do that is because it weeds out the fakers in the game. So wait and see, once I re-release this OnlyFans content, how many people start talking about my methods as if they're their own. So I'm excited to show you all that. Now, on top of that, I haven't written down any other topics today. It's just, it's a smaller podcast, definitely not a 40-minute podcast. But I want to talk about wasting time. And I feel like wasting time is a very, very big thing that people do. And we can get trapped into what society makes us focus on in order for us to waste time. They actually build these topics. And what you do is, you see people creating content about them, because content creators understand that by talking about controversial issues, they can get views and monetize. This is why people talk about these things. But 99% of the people don't create content, they watch content. And what happens is 99% of people think that the world operates in a certain way, or they have a perception of how the world works, and it doesn't. You hear people saying, oh, racism, da-da-da-da-da, constantly in and out, like, oh, the Black Lives Matter movement, all of this shit, all of this constant negativity, argument each side. where the majority of people are so caught up in that when it's not even a real thing. These things aren't even real. You know, we have gender issues. We have all these things that you're wasting your time on. And what I mean by they're not real is you have to understand that society continues to change. You know, 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago, before we had technology, we weren't even able to express these thoughts without the risk of being stabbed with a sword. Okay? Without the risk of offending someone and being stabbed with a sword. And so what happens is, over time, as all these things are changing, the masses are able to be almost controlled and have a narrative showed a lot easier. And it's all done for one reason: distraction. Because I've talked about this in a previous video. You should constantly chase power. And one of the biggest ways that people can take your power away is to take your attention away. And I have that as my screensaver on my phone. A distracted mind is a powerless mind. So every single time I look at my phone to do something for business, I constantly remind myself, are you going to be distracted? Because a distracted mind is a powerless mind. And the system is designed to keep you distracted in a numerous amount of ways. TV, Netflix, fucking video games. And I'm not to say that you can't enjoy these things, but you have to plan to enjoy them, because otherwise you're just going to get stuck. The system is too smart. And especially people that work. They go to work, they're distracted all day with bullshit work topics. They're worried about Susan from fucking HR that, you know, she's unhappy because she split up with her fat husband who's fucking lacking testosterone and not working out. And then she's taking it out on everyone. And then, you know, a dude fucking talks back, and then it's a sexism issue, and then everyone's talking about it. Look how much wasted time there is that you could have been focused on building something that is actually going to make you more powerful. And so my ideology in life is that what I've learned is never let anyone do anything, and never let systems especially detract you from gaining power. Every single time you're about to do an action, sit there and ask yourself, is this going to make me more powerful, or is this going to detract from my power? And when you start to do that, you realize very, very quickly how much fucking time you waste. You pull out your phone. Wait, am I about to gain power by doing this? What am I going to gain from doing this? Or am I going to lose power? Am I just going to distract my thoughts, distract my mind with endless bullshit? Okay, if I watch this video on how hormones work, how toxins work, how botany works, am I going to gain something? Probably, because you're gaining knowledge in that field rather than just wasting time. And you need to do this for every single action. Okay, you're driving past Macca's. Fuck, is it really good for me, or is this going to subtract from my power? Okay, fuck, I haven't eaten in a while, I'm feeling hungry, but still, is this going to subtract from my power, or is this going to add to my power? And when you start to ask that question, you'll see how many systems in life are designed to keep you stuck. And to keep you stuck, the easiest way to do that is to keep you distracted. And so I've really been thinking about this heavily the last, the thing for me is I'm at a stage of wealth, right, where I'm a lot wealthier than the average person. The amount of money I make each month, when I talk to a person who makes an average wage, and this isn't a flex, they go, oh my God, if I could make that much money, da-da-da-da-da. But I'm also nowhere near enough wealth to be able to remove myself from a lot of the constraints placed on life. I don't have hundreds of millions of dollars. I don't have things that allow for the next tier of freedom. But I still feel that by removing yourself from freedom packet, number 1 into number 2, a massive transformation will happen in your life because of the fact of this. And this is something very, very important that I want to explain to you who are still listening, because you would resonate with this. To control someone, okay, is to distract them. You can distract them and control their ability to talk. Take away their ability to speak freely on things. And you've seen this in the news with all of the shit that happens. You know what I'm talking about. People's ability to speak on the other side was restricted. It was fact-checked. And not to say whether you're pro or con just that one issue, but any issue that starts to challenge the narrative now is being withdrawn. It's being taken away. And just like Stalin in these times of, oppressive, Russian times in history, when you can control the narrative, they used to actually go ahead and burn books. They used to go to the libraries and burn your ability to gain knowledge on certain topics. And just like China does by controlling the media and controlling, your access to YouTube in these certain places, they can control the narrative. And the easiest way to do that is to control your ability to speak about things. And so how does because you think you have the ability to speak about things, and I speak with people who still work, normal jobs, and I interact and I say, well, what do you think about this? And they have these big opinions that we're all being controlled. It's all a fucking scam, all of this shit. But then, at a risk of losing their job, okay, because they don't make independent money, which is far more important than the money you make, okay, because they don't make independent money, they're scared, and they should be, because of the fact that their money can be taken away. If you speak out, if you say these things that you believe and they're against the narrative, okay, and this is especially big for men in today's society. They're stripping men of our masculinity. If you haven't noticed, they're making men very, very weak. They're taking away your masculinity, and if you speak on the matter, okay, and you work a fucking common job, you'll be stripped of your job and you'll be made less powerful. So all the things that you want to speak on that actually add to your power, there are systems in place to make you less powerful. And it's very, very simple why, okay? The smarter you get, you realize your ability of leverage is heavily dependent on systems. I am speaking into a camera right now and not sitting here chatting with one person about this topic who agrees with me because of the fact that I can only leverage one person. I can only have the result with one person. By using a system, okay, speak into a camera, post that on YouTube, I can showcase this exact same message to hundreds, thousands of people. So the people at the very, very top are highly intelligent and know how to utilize systems to a high level to control the masses. The reason they do this is they suppress other people's power because they're scared of other people becoming more powerful and controlling them. And so life is constantly a battle for power. And like I said, you should never let anyone take away from power, because power is a very, very good thing. If you were the most powerful version of yourself, you'd be the most giving, the most caring, the most loving, the most generous. It's hard to be generous when you're poor. It's hard to pay out your mama's house when you're poor. It's hard to speak your mind on the topics that you believe on when you're in fear of losing your job. So I know we've moved over across from the OnlyFans stuff into more of the philosophy, but this is why I am acquiring a big pool of an audience. And so more so than just the money I make from this and the people that I'm able to help by putting out these messages to do with business, my master plan, or the plan that I'm moving towards, is to build a big enough audience where I can speak on these topics and gain a following of people whose lives I can genuinely change. So that's what we're working towards. I hope you enjoyed today's podcast. It was a smaller one. I've got a bit of shit to do. I've got to go buy one of these cube shelves. I know, busy life in the Mac life. I'll probably drink another coffee. No gym today. That's it. Get the hustle done. Get some meetings done with these OnlyFans creators, and keep banging out content, because we're back into that content train. So I'll see you all in the next video. If you enjoyed, hit subscribe. And more so than that, if you feel this message would resonate with some people that you know, okay, share it out there. Give the value out. Let's get a moving, team. I'll see you all in the next one.